Angela Tappan, District A.
Here.
Mr. Henry Doty, District B.
Here.
Mr. James Green, District C.
Present.
Mr. Derek Green, District D.
Present.
Mr. Howard Locke, District E.
Here.
All five are present, we have a quorum.
We stand for the invocation. Father God, thank you for this new year that we have entered. Father God, bless us and thank you for everything that you have done. Bless our bodies for the unknown sick and the known sick, Father God. Touch each one of our bodies, please, Father. Let this meeting be what you want it to be. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
Salute. Pledge.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
President, City Council member for the agenda modification and the modification of the flood will be entitled to a flood comment period and it relates to the items on the agenda. Any modifications? No? You got any modifications? Announcement and recognition by the mayor and council. I want to ask special guest, Mayor Matt and Mr. Dean Black, would you will approach the mic, please? Announce your name, address. Thank y'all for coming also.
Yes, sir. Matt Talbot, 503 Highway 2, Sterlington. First, Mayor and Council, good to see you tonight. I'm currently serving as the District C Vice President for LMA. Want to let you know about a couple of events coming up. February 3rd and 4th in Baton Rouge is the Midwinter Conference. And that conference is generally geared around newly elected officials. But they also have classes for just about everything. So if that's something you're interested in, registration is open now. And then later toward the end of March or early April, I'm working with the LMA right now to have a District C meeting where we bring in community partners to talk to you about what they do and how they serve municipalities in our area. And so I've talked with the mayor about some of the projects that are going on around here and getting you guys involved. And so one of the areas that he talked about was the Meta Project. The Meta Project, you have to be a partner with Grow Nela in order to get into those meetings. And so I intend to get the mayor and the president of Grow Nela Rock Cleveland together and kind of see what that looks like for the city of Bastrop. But, talking with the mayor about economic development, we just finalized the numbers to carry to Washington, D.C. on Sterlington, and we're seeing about a 6 to 8% growth year over year. And since the 2020 census, we've seen a 28% growth in Sterlington. And that is what you guys do combined with your public safety, combined with your economic development groups that are here. I know you have a Morehouse Parish, you have a regional, we have a state, but also your school systems. At the start of the 25-26 school year, Sterlington had more enrollees that were, their families were working at the Meta Project than any school district around. So we currently have about 200 apartment complexes under construction, and we have about 200 single family homes under construction. So we're moving very fast in Sterlington, and I'd love to work with you guys. Any pain points you have, all of it working together will bring people to your community and bring business to your community. So any help I can give you as District C Vice President, I'm here to help you guys. So thank you.
Thank you.
Dean Blackett, I live at 6901 Westlake Road, Sterlington, which is Morehouse Parish.
I see this Dean.
One thing that I don't think he laid on hard enough, and that's the value of the schools. Of what turned the corner to when Matt became the mayor and the shape that Sterlington was in and where it's gone. But I didn't come here to talk about Sterlington. I came here to talk about the blight and taking down houses. Now, there's different programs out here to take down houses. We're not reaching out for them. One of them, we have a state program, and the state program, there's 20-something that we got is I worked with Monroe, matter of fact, on doing a program where they took their own house at that. Now, in doing that, they worked with the parish and other things and got it to where they could share equipment at first. They got new equipment eventually, and they were taking down a bunch of houses. If I'm not mistaken, we were taking down over 100 and something houses a year. Now, you say we can't do that. Yes, you can. And I'll work with the mayor on that if he wants to. Because we certify the driver and take care of all the permitting and everything for you, so you can do it. But we train your people to do it, so you don't have to depend on us, but you do it yourself. So that's available too. I'd really like to see it where a small city works with the parish. I work with a lot of cities throughout the whole state of taking down houses. I helped a bunch of cities, we took down between 200 and 300 houses. So it's doable. Blight has got to be we got to attack blight. Coming in and going out of basket. And we got a lot of reasons why we can't do it. But we got to get aggressive. And we got to figure out how we can do it. Because it is doable. One of the hardest things, I work with Pine Bluff for different cities, is your code enforcement. Slow, not talking about yours personally, all of them. They're slow, and you got to set a program up that works. Maybe you have to pick on the least difficult first and get better and better at doing it and pick up momentum and bring our congressmen in, bring politicians. You got a lot of people wanting to help Bastrop. A lot of people. We don't ask them, folks. You need to ask more. You need to outreach more. And I think we can get some help and we can start a program. But I'll talk to the mayor about that in the future.
I have a question, Mr.
Any questions?
I do have a question. How do you get paid? Do you contract with municipalities?
Wish I could, I'd make a little money. But no, most of what I do, made 4 years old. I'm working in Bastrop for a lot of years, plus these other cities. I've been very fortunate in the environmental business. And I get to give my time to LMA and other people, just in other words, cities, mostly schools for our children. I work with all the school districts. And that's for asbestos, mold, and problems that they have. I've done work for y'all.
I have a question too. So if some of those programs is 100% funded, or do the city have to put up some funds?
90% of the towns that I work with are small. They don't have matching funds.
Right.
That answers your question. So we find, and if it comes down to matching funds, then we find a way. Again, DEQ has got a program out. You've got to be very selective to get them to participate. But if it's dangerous, can I use an example? I like throwing stones, at least one before I sit down. That building that's about to fall down in the square, it's been going to fall down for a long time. First, we put sticks up to hold the wall up. Then we put barriers up so you don't park, so the wall don't fall. You get You know, tape is cheaper than sticks. And then I hear, this is just rumors, but I like rumors, hear them every day. So all of a sudden, we're working on it. Year and a half later, we're working on it. That is an emergency. If you can't do the emergency, how can we do the little stuff? We don't say example of aggressive, that getting done what has to get done. The rumor that I heard was that it went over to the parish or something else. I don't know if that's true or not, doesn't even matter. But that's where we have to say, how can we get it done? And that's where, Mayor, you could call me and I'll try to figure a way to get some help. LMA help. You know, they give you a lot of good advice. So let's just, you know, call me when you got one like that, and let's set a plan up that gets it done. I know what the problem there is in-house with the person that owns it, and the lawsuits could come up. And, you know, a few of these kind of things always happen. But that is an emergency. So we could get some help to get it pushed along if we had to. So just keep that in mind too. Any other questions?
Yes, sir, I have a question. For any of the municipalities that you work with now or before, to be able to take it down and do it yourself, do they have to hire any outside help or increase the number of people that they had already working on staff and train them? Or how do they go about it?
You got a big agenda, but I'll give you one scenario.
Right.
Okay, say the mayor and I talk and he said, give me a budget. I'd like to take them down ourselves. What would we need? What would it take? I'd start out, I'd say the first thing you do is do everything right. If you don't do it with environmental law, you do it with OSHA law. Because it's all the same thing, goes together and you cover it. Now we can use the employees. Once we cover that, we use the employees. Now, it just so happened, my company, which is the same price as any company, we certify your worker, your driver, and all that, and then get the paperwork. The only thing then you have to hire done is two things. One, you gotta get it inspected. What if it doesn't have any asbestos in it? We go ahead and take it down. Anybody, we can hire anybody or do it ourselves, right? But if it's got asbestos, we gotta get it abated. If it gets abated, you gotta have an air monitor on it. So the only thing you need to hire is an inspection to find out what houses have or have not got asbestos. So we take the ones that don't have and start working. And that means anybody can take them down at that point. Anybody that's licensed.
Right.
You know, can take them down. If it's got a special, we'll get it abated. We'll put the top of the list and start working down. I suggest we have a list of 10, no more. Take 10 and keep that list moving where you got, these are in the program to get down. You know, I work with you guys. I've taken houses down before for the council back in the old days. And it's all simple and doable. You just need someone to show you the ropes, and that's what I'll do. With that it.
Thank you, Commissioner.
Thank you, appreciate it. Put in Bishop Charles Bradford, 3800 South Washington Street, Bastrop, Louisiana. Oh, yeah, I've got those. It's announced already. Okay, I'm sorry, excuse me, I thought you said the public company, excuse me. All right, yeah, well, you could say, you know.
I have something. We want to keep all the bereaved families, in prayer. We want to keep the Ray family in prayer, also the Robinson family, and all the others that I'm not mentioning.
All right, now we're up to the public comment. Charles Bradford, 3800 South Washington Street, in Bastrop, Louisiana. I had a comment on 8,
C. That's the Golden Bean Power LLC and College Project. I think my past president on the council, we spoke to them about having a townhouse meeting before they go any further of what was going on College Street with the solar panels. I don't think they had a meeting. I'm asking this council tonight, if they're coming for a renewal or anything other than a townhouse meeting, I asked about the council don't allow them to have it because they had to do respect the city request. And that's been over 6 or 7 months, or maybe longer. I mean, we're just not gonna sweep it under the bridge. I mean, let me make one thing clear. I'm not against solar panels at all. I'm against the location, the population, our city. We have been blessed internationally, good too and bad too. Okay, people are still dying for cancer, some of the people cancer patients. We don't want to go backwards, we want to go forward. I mean, Morehouse Parish have a lot of land that they could probably look at. Like I say, at least come and give us a good explanation of how it would benefit the city. You know, some of us just throwing solar panels up in the heart of the community. Again, I'm not against solar panels. It's not hurting against anyone. But for the heart of the people, and the love of the people, somebody, they call me, I'm sure they call me, that's what we need to consider. I ask this council, don't allow any permits unless they have a townhouse meeting at the municipal center, they'll have to come here. But let me move on, I got a couple more here I want to address right quick. That would be 9C, city attorney. The city attorney represents the city of Bastrop. When I say that, I talk about councilmen as well as the mayor. He's a counsel for the city of Bastrop. He can't go out and file a claim against the person he's supposed to be representing on behalf of the city or whoever it might be. We'll get into that more in detail because we're leaving our city into city litigation. And you know have some of us here, and the mayor had nothing to do with it. Okay, it's not against the mayor, but we'll talk about it. Maybe he'll return my call one day. If not, receive my petition. But and I got one of. I'm looking at 10 and 11. The drafting of this agenda.
What number was that, Mr. Brown?
10 and 11.
10 and 11?
Yeah, look at the drafting of this particular agenda. Well, all the agendas. They say, how can we make a comment on unfinished business and then say action on ordinance? What action? What, you gotta be more specific. You might come here and take action on what the solar panel or something that hasn't came before, unfinished business. Then say the same about new. I think that's something really consider. I ask this council to get with whoever make up the agenda and make it more plain to the people in the community. Because if I sit here tonight and some come up unfinished business, and I won't get a chance to make a comment. And this is the one I deal with. This is really inappropriate, and I appreciate you for your time. And I say, not person against anybody, just the love for this community. And we need to work together. I think great things are coming if we work together. For the love of us, get on the same page, please. Thank you.
Mr. Bradford, if you will, just for clarification purposes, you said 10 and 11.
Yeah.
I'm looking at number 11, and number 11 looks pretty self-explanatory. It has the items on there and all of that. Now, number 10, it's a single line that doesn't say anything under that.
Okay.
But again, when you say stuff like that, just want to be clear exactly what you're talking about because somebody else will come back and say, hey, number 11, that has the items listed under there for new business. And number 10 does.
Yeah, I agree with you, Councilman Doty. You're correct. Thank you for the correction.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Yeah, if I can, clarify something to make sure it's clear, again, Rick Smith, off to the mayor. On the agenda, if you look at it after adjournment, we cleared that up because I think Mr. Bradford brought it to the attention of the council last week. So item number 10 through 15 is simply categories. And without subparts a sub-listing, there's no business under, that vacant listing will occur at the meeting. So if there's no subpart, then there's nothing that's gonna be considered, so there's nothing for the public to have notice or make comments. They're just simply categories.
Yeah, because I think if I'm not mistaken, any item that's on the agenda, at the number 5 public comments, you'll be able to speak about any item that's on the agenda, which means under that category, it will show, what's being discussed.
Okay, well,
Like Mr. Dolly said, number 11, new business,
mhm.
the first to see where.
Yeah, I've seen new business, yeah.
Yeah, so if someone's on unfinished business, it'll be on that line.
Okay, unfinished business referring to 10. Okay, it don't appear, like, maybe I need to look at it, that don't appear to me, I don't get to understand.
Real quick, number 10, which has nothing under there. That means right now, we don't have anything for consideration.
Okay, wait.
Am I right?
Okay, well, that's.
Right. So if something does come up, then there will be an allowance for comment.
Or if it was an item that needs to be under unfinished business, it will be there, then if, at number 5, you'll be able to discuss that matter.
Right. Other words, something come up not here tonight, and you want to
It's
discuss
not-
it, we can come back forward and make a public comment.
Yes.
Okay, well, thank you, that should be spelled out in there, but anyway, that's what you want to word it. I appreciate it.
Okay, thank you.
Well, thank you.
All right. Yes, sir. Mr. Miles.
I am Tony Miles, 611 Pearl Street, Bastrop, Louisiana, 71220. Mr. Mayor, council members, all, Mr. Jones. It's an item that's not on the agenda that I thought would have been on the agenda, relating to the matter of the memorial for Mr. Henry Cochran. And I was trying to understand why it was, I thought it was supposed to be there, and it's not. I was just trying to understand why.
We're gonna do a proclamation next month and invite you back next month. And we're gonna work on some more stuff. Next month we'll have something for you.
Sounds good.
Yes, sir.
Thank you very much.
Appreciate you, Ms. Miles.
Thank
I never did a good
Public comment?
Go ahead.
My name's Tommy Harris. I just 89682 Drive.
Something like that, speaker.
Yeah, come in the mic, sometime.
Yeah, raise the speaker, and then I'll connect the mic.
I want to talk about this month because it's being passed about this, we was, on here, we was, approved.
What item are you referring to, Mr.
Is
Hayes?
public comments?
What,
Public comments?
Public comment.
Yeah.
Yeah, you gotta speak about, I'm sorry.
Oh, yeah.
what
Talk about
item?
stuff on the agenda. Things on the agenda.
Yeah, I was gonna talk about, monetary.
I'm asking what agenda item.
It's what agenda item is that? That's gonna come under the, when we get to talking about it. Thank you, we gonna go to, let me see what you had on there.
It's 8C.
8C.
Hey,
Mr. Neal?
He can talk.
For legal purposes, we're gonna follow Robert rules of order. Anything that's passed has to go through the chairman. Chairman, you are the chairman of this board. Take control of the meeting.
You can forget public comment. Y'all been here long enough, you should know. Anybody else? Go ahead, Mr. Neal.
Yeah, I want to talk about this monetary that was put in on us, is that we was already approved before y'all came up and put that in, so it shouldn't apply to us. Anything applied to us, it should have been, can't go in the past. you know, putting them up on it like that. You know, we was already approved. What I'm trying to see is how you gonna, when we approve, how you gonna put something on us that we already approved. That's the understanding I'm trying to get. Cause I got a lot of guys that work for me in this community, and this is affecting their jobs. You know, I just want some answers on how to get apply. We approved. Right here, should have it. That's all I ask. Explain to me, explain to the community, explain to these guys. Work hard every day. That's all I ask. And they would like to know too.
The moratorium you speaking about, there was, and the reason we put it, yeah. The reason,
We do that on AC, we don't have to.
yeah, but that's all I
But we
was
don't
trying
like talking about it again, we'll get to AC.
for, just in case Mr. Tony, you come up again, if you ever see some item on the agenda, public comments, you speak about the item on the agenda. The moratorium is not on the agenda. That's what we're trying to tell you. Councilman Green is trying to say. Now, if you want to speak in regards to, I'm assuming AC, Golden Bean Power LLC, Corliss Lane, you can speak on that, but the moratorium is not on the agenda.
I want to speak on that.
Yeah.
Who is solar panel hurt? They don't talk to you. You have no statistics on anything you saying what they do to anybody. Show me some statistics, show something, show some proof. Just can't go by what one person say. Out here, they don't have no statistics. Solar panels are the future. Put solar panels everywhere. You know, people put them on their home. Well, you know, you have a person that don't see you for solar panels. What you gonna do then? Other cities, they got solar panel sidewalks. Solar panels in the water. Do some research, do some real research on about solar panels. Before you say things bad about solar panels, show your certificate, show proof. If you heard council, proof. Don't just throw it out there for the community to run with it. Have some statistics, show some proof to the community. That's all we have, show some proof. You just throw it out there for a room. What do you prove? If you don't mind, I'd like to see a little proof. Show me one piece of paper, document. Y'all come up with that they bad. So I ask for one document. Show today. Been going on so long, you should have one document. Show them what's bad about it. That's all I gotta say.
Appreciate it.
Mr. Harris?
Point of order, Mr. Mayor. There was a statement just made, and I'm trying to figure out what that means, and I shouldn't have to try to figure it out. Because when we make statements, we need to clarify it, and we need to make sure people understand what we're talking about. And the statement goes to the effect that you need to take control of the meeting, and we're gonna follow Robert's Rules of Order. This is not nothing personal. But again, when you talk about something like that, I want it to be specific enough for people to understand, to know what we're referring to and what we're talking about. Are we talking about the whole meeting, or a certain part of the meeting, or what are we talking about when we say that? Because that needs to be explained, because people don't know what you're talking about.
So you want Mary answer, or you want me to answer?
Point of information, Attorney Jones. Point of information. A statement
stand by my statement. Law requires we follow Robert rules of order, so we can have some decorum. Just like right then, public comment is not a question and answer, so you got to stick to what Robert rules of order says. It's nothing personal. I'm saying, I just said the chairman can take control. It's not a slight at anyone. I'm just saying I see where this is headed. So we need to put some closure to it before it get out of hand. And the chairman is the mayor. So that's the only thing I was saying. We have to follow Robert rules of order. We have to go through the chairman, but we want to ask questions, we want to have something answered. So it won't be nothing personal, because you know, as well as I know, when it's a contentious situation, some people tend to take it personal. So therefore, we want to eliminate all that, and we want to be professional at all times. So it's nothing personal against anybody on this council. It's just that we have rules and regulations that we have to follow. If we're not going to abide by the rules, why should the general public abide by the rules? If we're going to set something in place, if we're going to require those persons to get up and speak to follow the rules, then we must follow the rules. And I have to say this, I would be the first to say, we haven't always followed our rules of order. I watch city council meetings all over. A lot of people don't follow our rules of order, but when it's something that you see ahead of time, we all should strive to be the best that we can be and prevent something from just going chaotic. Because we got some hot issues, maybe controversial, because these issues are dear to their heart. We got a legal obligation and a moral obligation to the people that elected us. So I don't want anyone up here to think that I was taking a shot at them, because I'm not, because everybody knows me. If I got something to say, I will say it. I would ask for point of information and clarity, because that's where it's supposed to be. I think point of information, point of order. Everybody should have read Robert Rules of Order. We all should know how Robert Rules of Order work. So if I offended anybody, I want to apologize, but I stand by what I say. We need to follow Robert Rules of Order. And the mayor is the chairman.
Mr. Mayor, I think the big thing with Robert Rules of Order, you, the chairman, have to recognize us before we speak. So I think that's where we kind of get in. Yeah. Yes, if you would recognize whoever is up to speak, and it's their turn, they have the floor.
Moving on to number 6, consent approval to previous minutes, regular meeting, December 11th, 2025. Move on to number 7, consideration of any action on reports of committee appointed of the governing body. A, finance committee report.
I'll go back, I'll make a motion.
It's like consent, as long as there's no objection.
Oh, okay.
A, finance committee report. Okay.
Do we have to approve anything that they're just report?
You would just have because this report was financial were reviewed and there is no findings of the report other than they were reviewed and they were able to review.
The finance committee report, we did review those, the balance on, not the balance, but the report from the checks that was written in the month of December, am I correct? December.
Was that a motion?
That's it, and that would be the financial report. Okay.
We got B, planning and zoning committee report. So, right here.
Point of information.
Okay. So Jay Green, go ahead.
Attorney Jones, may I ask you,
Yes.
Attorney Jones, have they been meeting? And when was the last meeting? And what was discussed at the last meeting? And do you have the date as the last time that they had a forum?
I'm unaware if there was a quorum. I know that they met this in the last 30 days, because I came in at some point and they were here meeting. I'm unaware if they had a quorum. I believe Ms. Holmes would probably have that information as to whether they had a quorum if they met. And if there was any, thing that came before at that time. I do know they had a small agenda. It was on the, call correctly. It was on the eve of, I believe, maybe Christmas holiday.
I have a question.
But as far as the citizens that, I'm just direct that to Ms. Holmes, who would know that information.
She said December 15th.
Yes, sir.
Ms. Can I ask a question?
Council D. Green?
Ms. Holmes, are they meeting regularly?
Yes. Yes, they are.
And that's once a month, right?
Yes,
So they got a quorum?
they did. I don't remember the specifics, but I do believe that we went over the items on the agenda. To my recollection, they did not have anything such as a special use or anything that had to come before the council.
So that's been about 3 or 4 months that they have came through.
I'm sorry,
It's about 3 or 4 months.
roughly since maybe August, September.
Ms. Holmes, so we asked if, have they meet regularly? You say yes. Are they having an issue having a quorum there? Meaning, if they have a problem with everybody coming to the meeting?
No, they can different people at different times. But mostly they have enough to have a quorum. Which is 4 people.
I got a question.
Council J. Green?
Thank you, Councilman Doe. Okay,
No, I heard you.
all right. I got a question, point of information. I'm kind of confused. No one has showed up to the city council meeting with a report. And you said that there was no item that should have been brought before the council. But being an advisory committee, a board, it's just advisory board. As of now, it's advisory board. So we should have something, whether it went back to code enforcement or whether the city outright approve it, because they have 2 lines you go in there. So I'm kind of confused. Why haven't we been receiving a report either way? Whether the mayor, code enforcement approved it, or was it recommended to us? Because we haven't received anything from them since, I think, 3 or 4 months. So what I'm trying to get at, somebody needs to convey a message to us and bring a report to us, whether it's code enforcement or their chairman. Because right now, we don't have any idea what was approved, what your administration approved, or what did they recommend. Obviously, they haven't recommended anything because nothing came before us. So if they brought something to code enforcement and they said it was approved outright, we ask them that you provide us a copy as to what was approved the previous month, so we won't be in the blind.
I have a question, Mr. Mayor.
Councilman Doty?
Real quick, Ms. Holmes, what is the quorum number for the planning and zoning committee?
4 people, it's a 7-committee board. And so we have to have 4 present to make a quorum.
All right, thank you.
Councilman Ted?
Yes, I thought that we put everything really at a standstill. And everything should come before us, am I wrong? With the zoning committee.
So your zoning, the only thing that's left over is you do have your new policies and procedures, your new procedure for planning and zoning where you have your administrator, who is Mr. Gordon, who was appointed, and you have your your planning and zoning was turned into a review board. So essentially, a lot of stuff would go through the administrator, then anything would typically be a final decision they had made before there be a recommendation. Only things that they were really making final decisions on were special uses, variances, things like that. None of that's come, but there has been approval of zoning permits, and so there's going to be some list of what was approved, whether approved by what is code enforcement administrator, or there should have been recommendations. If they had action before, they have final reports for action to come to the board. Since none of that has been done by the administrator. So that's what they're looking for. It'd probably be with code enforcement, the things that have come and what actions have happened during the past month.
So we should have a report about that today.
It's either gonna be there or you're going to have recommendations, which would then end up on the agenda here with the council or some report there.
And I know we had talked about different things, having representation throughout the city. So at what point are we at with that? Do we have to reconstruct?
We got to reconstruct the membership of the board at that time, and we had gone with getting into the way the procedure would work and how it would work, kind of see how it would be going, and then look at that later on down, what the membership composition needed to be, instead of trying to all together at one time. We take care of this, but also have the ability to work the membership. We need to comprise it differently than where it was.
I
So that
think
you have
it should be discussion, yes.
that's what that is.
Okay, all right.
Councilman Dolan?
Mr. Jones, has the council, voted on the new rules?
Yes,
For the,
yes, they have. They're voted in, I believe, November or October.
and that would require them to have, either a monthly or a quarterly meeting.
Planning and zoning is required to meet, monthly. They have a regular monthly.
Right.
Your quarterly meeting board would be your historical district board.
Yeah, just for clarification.
The historical district, board is the one that has the quarterly.
Right.
But planning and zoning is.
So do they still have, officers of that board?
Yes. Yes. Both your historical district and your planning and zoning boards have membership and officers in that, in both those boards.
So do we have a president and a vice president of that board?
You have a chairperson.
Chairperson,
The chairperson of the planning and zoning, Mr. Rogers. Your chairperson of the historical district board, I believe, is Ms. Steve.
Councilman Locke?
I think the issue is we haven't received any type of report from that committee. I think we kind of, out there without anything that we know that went on in those meetings. I think, do we have them to make any type of, in the recommendation, but do we have them to make a report?
Correct. So they would, if they had a recommendation.
If they have a meeting, they should have some type of.
Well, if they have a meeting, they would have their minutes. There's no real action for them to do with the meeting. Because there's nothing that they're recommending for a final report for the council to act on. They're just having a meeting to, because they're required to have a monthly meeting, they don't have any actions occurring before them. The actions of what would be considered things that were approved by the administrator would probably, is a list that, because there's no recommending or not recommending from the administrator approvals, because those things are all about right. At that point, there would just be a list of approvals and things like that that would probably be able to be manufactured each month and brought here by code.
Well, I think that's the issue. We need some type of report from them each month, saying if they met or whatever, and something is reported.
Oh, we could just put the minutes in there, and we'll put them into
That's fine, that's something else, it's not big, right?
Or
one information, Chair, this message. Mr. Baker?
And I agree with Councilman Locke, because if we don't see anything,
Right.
and you approve it outright, and Attorney Jones look at it, he say, hey, we looked at the code enforcement thing, and it's by right. But we need to see it, because if you put something over my district, and they may not want it, and you say the attorney says it's by right. So if I see it when they come to me, we as legislative body, if we don't want it to be like that, we can go back and change the charter, change something in our code enforcement laws as to what the community want versus by right, because a lot of things change, districts change, people change, and a lot of things that you may look at it from a legal standpoint, you may tell the mayor, hey, it's by right, which it may be true. But they may not want it, but then you tell the citizens, hey, it's by right. So they get with their council member and say, what can y'all do about it? But how can we do something if we never see anything? So I just think transparency, I just think we just need to have something on record we can bring to us, and if we don't look at it, then it's our fault. It's a phone, so that we face them.
That's it. We get it to the packets, the administrator approvals from Mark, and then the minutes from the planning and zoning meeting.
Right.
And if there's any reports for actions, will be on the agenda, but the reports also be packaged.
Okay. We'll move to C, quality assurance panel.
This is the quality assurance panel that has been put together, but this is where it'll exist in the report whenever it does come together on there. And so this is where some of the membership's being derived tonight, on action items. But this is where it would exist on there. I know historically we only ever had finance and planning and zoning, but again, we talked about putting all the boards that could potentially report on there so that there is an opportunity, and that the council members and the public sees what other small boards there are here that do need to report. So that it's kind of like you talk about packets. If it's on the agenda, then at least every 30 days you put eyes on it saying, hey, what went on, what happened.
That's a historic, that's being covered in already. We'll move to 8, request speaker items. A, Jeremy Streeter.
Steve.
Hey,
All right, Jeremy Streeter, I know my address already on this last year.
yeah, go ahead, Sue.
5143 Tall Oaks Lane, Bastrop. Here for a special event permit for a 12 Forever banquet on February 6th in Municipal Center.
Okay. Special permit.
Point of information,
Green?
Councilor,
let's get, you said a special permit, can you, mind X?
I had to get a special event on, did the same thing one here last year. We had to get a special event permit to be able to provide to Choice Brands, to be able to have under our 501c3, for them to be able to provide us the alcohol for the event.
Okay. Yeah, that's
What's
what.
that?
Yes.
That's a motion.
I'll make that motion.
I second the mayor.
All in favor? Okay.
No.
What is the motion? All in favor? Any opposed? Motion carried.
All right, thank y'all, and again, every year y'all are invited, we usually have a table there for the city council, and y'all can drop in if y'all like.
Thank you.
Got B, basic Shannon, Paul B. Park. How you doing?
Doing good, Mike Moore. How are you?
Okay,
City Council, appreciate y'all giving me the opportunity to think for you and talk about our project we have going. I'm here. I'm sorry, my name is Jason Shannon, and it's in reference to 3660 New Monroe Road, Bastrop, Louisiana. I'm sure y'all probably seen our cleanup going on south on 165, where we are Cycles was, the wrecking yard. So this is the property that we're discussing. I'm here to give you an overview of what we have going on there and to request, annexation and access to city sewer. So that's what we're here for. So my name there again is Jason Shannon, my wife is Kelly, and we're the owners. I have 100 years ties to Morehouse Parish, going back to my grandfather. My grandfather and parents were raised in Morehouse Parish. They owned this property. Are y'all familiar with where Westside Automotive Supply was, the parts out south? They took where all that junk was. Correct. Yeah. So before all that junk was an auto parts store. That's where I was raised. Went to church here my whole life. First church I got here, and then worked there my whole life growing up. Acquired this property. We are cleaning it up, and obviously, I think y'all probably seen if you've noticed driven by it. And our plan and our idea is we're going to put in a luxury RV park. And as I believe this meeting aims toward the Meta project and all the surrounding projects that Meta has. So we're talking about, there again, a luxury park. This is going to be high-end, nice RVs. It's going to be
So you have a layout? Did you bring a layout?
I did. Did I not put one in front of you?
Okay.
Yeah, everyone should have a layout.
And you said the ground will be covered in, tell them about the groundwork.
As far as, well, what it's gonna be, it's gonna be, gray rock or white rock pads with driveways. Essentially like most RV parks are designed, it's gonna have a grass strip for each RV. There's gonna be in total 100 units there over at about 8 acres. It's a little shy of 8 acres. It's gonna be 100 units there. The RVs will have to qualify for our, they will have to qualify, meaning year model, condition, and shape. So there won't be any broken down, ugly, like this is a luxury park and it's gonna, show that. Of course, this is on the 165 corridor coming into Bastrop. It's the very first thing you see, essentially, of size, right next to RNS. And, we're looking to have it, if we get our annexation, and we get our sewer, we're looking to have this thing up and running 90 to 120 days. So, depending weather.
Mayor,
Yes, Councilman Locke.
that's not considered inside the city.
No, sir, that's one of my requests is for annexation.
And
To be annexed in, because it is right on the edge of the city limits, and in order to get access to the city sewer, we're wanting to annex in.
so now that's going to be the question about the sewer and the other things on that area, in that part of town. We're concerned about when you tie into the city, sewage, are you prepared to pay the tie to the city?
Absolutely. Yes, sir. Whatever it requires. Yeah, if it's a tax, I'm not sure how the city sewer here works here, but no, I'm not looking for free sewer by any means. I'm looking for access to sewer.
So you're not providing, so are you providing the RV or this?
No. These are gonna be traveling workers coming in from all over the country. And one thing I kind of failed to mention is the average salary is over $100,000 for the Meta workers. Okay, this is 100 people coming to Bastrop, $10 million in revenue a year. They're bringing in their pockets. Now, are they gonna spend it here? I don't know. But they're bringing $10 million to the area yearly.
You hope they spend it here.
I hope they spend it here, that's the idea. So, there's a lot of money coming and it's not being sucked out of Bastrop. It's coming from other avenues. It's coming from big money, $1 billion companies. These salaries are coming in. These are working, for the most part, journeymen. They're working in, they work all day and they're gonna spend some money when they're, at home, which would be here in Bastrop, on the weekends and at nights.
Mayor, can I ask a question?
Councilman Billy. I think the next is Councilman Locke.
Yes, sir. Do you already have identified a big number of potential clients that are already talking about coming in, or is it gonna be once you get it completed?
Well, there are 6,000 workers coming to the Meta factory. 6,000 workers in full. Every RV park around us is completely full. Beth Bayou Beth, which is 5 miles, exactly 5 miles south of me, is 100% packed out. As soon as we get up and running, we will be filled up as fast as, they will be here.
Mayor, who would investigate what type of effect that's gonna have on the sewage in that area? That's a good question.
There's a connector right there in it where he's talking about, but I'll get, Brad with our sewer department program to go check that out. And ask him about that. Also, I'll contact, our engineer and get him out there also, if we approve.
So Brad at the sewer department, if I'm not mistaken, I spoke to him and I went and looked at the map. Well, and not to speak for him, but I looked at the map of the sewer plant. This is, and from what it appeared, Providence Street dead ends into our property. City sewer runs the very end of Providence. I mean, literally within a stone's throw of where I'm asking for a connection. So as far as the physical work that it would take to get sewage to my property, we're not talking about much. I can do it, the city can do it however it needed to be done. But it's not a major construction, it's not a major undertaking as far as that goes, just to get connected. Now I understand the flow and being able to. One thing I will say is that there will be 100 units there. The fact is, these are journeymen, these are traveling workers. This is not families moving in. These are going to be single individual men living one per unit, almost exclusively. They're working 10 or 12 hours a day. I understand you have to look at max capacity on sewer, but they're not going to be producing it. An RV doesn't produce a ton of sewer anyway when it's got one lot.
Councilman Locke?
We're not gonna vote on this tonight.
So on annex, for the way the procedure works on these annexations is that we have to request annex. They're kind of coming forward, bring it to the council. The next thing we would do is we would do the introduction of the ordinance for the petition annex with the appropriate documents. There's about 8 documents that have to be in. Once we gain, and then we would do the public hearing and approval.
I have a question.
And so generally, you run the public hearing before your reception.
Point of information. Point of information. So regardless, we're gonna hear this, right? It's gonna be built regardless because it's already outside the city limits. So it's gonna come one way or the other.
Yes.
So what he's saying, I think what he's saying is, it's like a trade-off. You say it's gonna be a up-to-date RV park. When you get annexed in to the city, you gotta follow zoning laws. So it's like a trade-off. Be a good partner, because we want economic growth, economic development. Because that is the heart of our corridor, coming into the city of Bastrop. And we tearing down a bunch of houses to make it look great. And trust you when you say it's gonna be modernized, up to date. It's coming one way or the other because you already outside. So I see it's beneficial
to you if you are, if we'll annex you inside the city limits and allow you to allow you to use our sewer. So I understand where you're coming from, and I see.
In my initial meeting, not to cut you off, in my initial meeting with Mayor Moore, it was his suggestion, to let's pursue or look into the annexation and the city connection and the sewer. Because then that would fall under sewer guideline, city guidelines, as opposed to parish guidelines. And he, felt like it would be easier for me to work with y'all than the parish. Get things done more quickly, make things happen.
I just want, that's the point, I just want to make a statement. It's gonna come regardless. I think it's just asking to be annexed in.
Yes.
So it's be beneficial to him for the sewer usage, and we can look at us as a tax base or whatever. I'm open-minded, so I just want to emphasize that is the heart of the city of Bastrop coming in. So we entrust you, taking you at your word to be a good citizen and be a model citizen, and when you put stuff up around us, because people are coming in. That RV park is gonna be one of the first things that they see. And we don't want it to be broken down, we want to attract business. So, just, if we vote that in, I look forward to working with you, but man, word is his bond.
Absolutely.
And remember, I just want you to always remember that you're gonna fall under our code enforcement law, so I keep that in mind.
Jay Green?
Please say the green.
Quick question, I know that we got to annex you in for the sewer, what about, how do water look? What about water?
It's already there. The water company you already get past the water.
So that's how water, power is all running in front of us.
That's how you.
The only thing that's not there is sewer.
And two, after we annex in there, this question for you, how do it impact our city?
Well, like you said, we bring money in, a lot of money coming in, and hopefully we can bring more to it, so they can stay here and shop there.
It's clean now, and we've already accomplished that. One more little small item I wanted to add to it was we will have, on the front corner where West Side Automotive was, is a solid concrete slab. We're gonna have 3 to 4 food trucks there. There'll be a coffee trolley, it's gonna be a burger joint, but it's not gonna be ours. We're gonna offer that to the residents of the city of Bastrop. They come in, they get first right of refusal. So anyone who owns a restaurant or wants to go into the restaurant business, all they gotta do is, it'll be just a lease spot, and they can park their food truck or trailer there and sell to the RV tenants, and then of course, everybody pulling in right off the road. So that's gonna be potentially 4 businesses, brand new, starting up that are owned by Bastrop residents. They can start their dream, of being independent, and,
So has any of that information gone out before today?
About
the businesses that.
No, sir. No, that has not been released. We won't do that until we're further along and start, when we're close, have our annexation, the city sewer, when all that's accomplished, then we will release that. With y'all's guidance, of course. Because I'm not exactly sure how we would put it out there. Social media probably be a great way to do it, but we definitely want it to go to residents of Bastrop first.
Well, right now, we hear it first, right now.
Absolutely, this is the very first we spoke of, me and my wife talked about it. Yeah, this is the very first, the thoughts on it.
So how will they, I have a question. How will they book the spots? Will it be like an online?
It's all online, yes.
Okay,
We already have our website in place.
Now, what if this RV pulls into your spot and it is raggedy? What you gonna do?
They get rejected. They're asked to go to another RV park.
Some will try.
They will try. We're prepared for that. I have a manager who actually lives in Swartz. He's gonna be in and out a lot. probably every day. And although they check in online, once their RV comes, it has to be inspected. So, yeah, we will not be allowing any broken down, it's gonna be really nice. There again, we'll base that on your model, we'll base that on overall condition. We'll have our guidelines and they will sign a contract up front, and that's the way it'll be.
We appreciate you. We appreciate you.
Thank y'all for your time.
Thank you.
Okay.
See. How you doing?
I'm good. Good evening, everyone. I represent Golden Harbor Beam LLC, and I would first try to say that we present ourselves humbly in front of the council. And in the past, if anything.
Excuse me, your name and address, I'm sorry. Name and address?
Name is Ahmad Khan, and address is 4510 Druid Lane, Dallas, Texas, 75205. We acquired the property, which is 106 acres of the old IP paper mill site, and 10 acres, which is 350 East Jefferson Street. We've acquired both these sites. So I present myself humbly in front of all of you and want to explain to you that our project that is right next to your office over here at 350 East Jefferson Street, and then at 705 Collier's Lane. The first thing that I want everyone to understand that this property is a brownfield site, which it is a LPQ approved certified brownfield site. You cannot construct on it. You cannot build on it. You cannot do anything on it. It's just like a landfill. So it was certified by the Economic Board, the Louisiana, Louisiana Board, basically. Entergy paid $25,000, IP Mill paid $50,000, and the previous owners, they paid $25,000. $100,000 fees were submitted to certify this site as a brownfield site. So nothing can be constructed on it. The soil cannot be disturbed. You cannot dig on it. You cannot make a water park or any other amusement park or anything on it. It will remain, it is federally protected. It will remain the way it is. We applied on the first 10 acres and we thought that we would do a solar farm over there. And we could do, along with the solar farm, we could use the energy to do a data center, which would be on a modular system, which means it's a 40 feet foot containers that create and have data center ability in it. So the same thing we proposed for the 705 Collier's Lane. Now, we were approved on 27th of January, almost a year from now, by the zoning board. We followed the exact same procedure we followed on the first site. The exact same procedure was followed on our second site. And we were approved on the 27th of January, unanimously. And then we requested a name change, which was my request because I wrote Sunbeam Solar, and then I found out that it was one of our other companies, which the ownership is the same. We're the same company that owned the Golden Beam and Perfect Land Development. We're the same owners. So the name change was approved on 17th of March, 2025. A moratorium comes into place on 27th of May. That is 27th of May. So our paperwork and our approvals have happened before this moratorium comes in for the 12 months into the future. It expires on 29th or 28th of May, March or May, whatever, after 1 year it expires. Now, I do understand that I've heard that it's not us being targeted. I don't see any other companies doing any solar business over here. I don't see anyone else doing solar over here. I know I heard that solar is very dangerous for this community, or someone said that. I have pointed this out humbly before this council that you have solar panels on top of your high school. You need to remove them. Otherwise, I don't know what they're doing over there. Still they're there. They're on the top of the high school. So whatever one might want to do with the property, it is a certified brownfield site which construction cannot take place on. That's why we make a system in which we do concrete blocks that we place on top of the soil without disturbing the soil, and just do assembly of the solar panels on top. This is going to produce a lot of electricity that is going to go into the grid system. That is going to benefit any data center along with the Meta data center. So we have 3 megawatts over here. We're doing 9 more, and there's more megawatts that's going to be done. We have 106 acres over there. And we are the biggest acreage within the city of Bastrop. And up till now, we have procured 20 million worth solar panels, $20 million worth of solar panels. We have hired everyone from the city of Bastrop. Our people are sitting over here, some of them, and they've been working here for the last year and a half, taking their salaries every single day. It's not just the people working, it's their families and their livelihood that are also at stake. We did not ask the economic board for any abatement, or any tax abatement. We've paid our taxes. We paid the taxes on the 31st of December as well. And we are ready to work in any way you guys recommend, especially Councilman James Green, as our site is in his area. Whatever he recommends for the community, for the area, we are ready to work with each and every one of you. But we say that do not penalize us for something that we were approved for, that we have written approvals, you have it in your documents, that we need your help and you to guide us how to move forward further. We want to be the good neighbor that you guys want, and we want to see how we can help the city. And if in the past we have not followed anything, or there's anything missing, help us help resolve that so we can move forward with this. This is all our request, and I have my representative, she's our attorney representing us as well, just to convey her thoughts on the matter.
Good evening. My name is
Excuse me. Let Jay Green say something to what you was talking.
Sure.
Oh, important information. Since he said, called me out directly, I got some questions I need to ask. Okay. You said, you made a statement that you can't build anything on brownfield.
Yes, sir.
You say certified as brownfield. What y'all been working on the last few months?
It's concrete blocks.
I understand.
It's you're not doing any construction, you're not disturbing the soil. You're on a brownfield site. It is declared that you can do solar panels. It's a ballasted system. It's above the ground system. It costs more money to put down because we're not puncturing the soil, so you're on top of the soil.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
One more. Okay, I got another question for you. When you came to this area, could you provide this council with your investors within a 50-mile radius of your site? Do you have any local investors that's invested in your company and that have any vested interest at Colliers Lane?
Local investors?
Yes.
In the 50-mile radius, no.
I know, 50 miles.
That's what I'm saying. You said 50 miles. I know that our investors are from the United States. I'm not sure that we have investors within 50 miles of the radius.
I'll be more specific. Do you have any investors that live in Washington Parish, Richland Parish, or Morehouse Parish?
No.
Or Union Parish?
I don't know. And I don't know how that question, what you're trying to ask me.
I'm asking, do you have any local investors invested in Colliers Lane?
We have investors invested in Colliers Lane. We have bought and purchased the land. People who live in and invested money in buying that land from them. We have hired our people from Bastrop City, but if I'm trying to understand that what you're trying to say.
Let me back up.
Yeah.
You brought me into this conversation. You want me to ask a question? I'm just asking, because I've been taking a lot of flack over Colliers Lane. But when I start trying to do my research of the investors, you ask the question I pretty much already know the answer. So I just want some open and transparency.
Sure.
You know, so if everybody wants to be open and transparent, let's be open and transparent.
So I got another question for you. When you said, when did you apply for this?
December 2024.
December?
December 2024, and then the zoning, they said you have to go through a special use permit, and you have to appear in front of the zoning board, and the date was given for January 2025, which was unanimously approved on 27th of January of 2025. We're in 2026 right now.
That was part of information. Have you ever given or contributed to anyone on this city council?
Nothing? What does that question mean?
Have you made any political contributions?
No.
To anyone?
None whatsoever.
Have you ever made any political contributions to the previous mayor or the current mayor?
No.
Okay, that is you said no.
No.
Not even your company?
Not even our company, no.
Do you remember $2,500 donation made to the last mayor?
From which company? From me or from a company?
From your company.
Not from Perfect Tax or Golden Beans, no, I don't think so.
Attorney Jones? Never mind. Okay, I just want to answer on record, because I want open and transparent. Nothing wrong with it.
Yeah, sure.
I'm just asking because
So my question.
my thought is that I represent District C. The people in District C are not special interest, because I know they say money is the root of all evil. And when people start looking at, they just.
Can I ask you a question? Let me ask you a question. If that contribution was made, if you're saying that contribution was made, was that made after the fact that this was passed? Or before?
You said it wasn't made, so that's a new question. I mean, that's new. What I'm getting at is the outside influence. We should listen to the people in our district. There's nothing challenging about the situation, nothing personal against you.
Sure.
Nothing personal against your company. You asked me a question. You said Jay Green is his district. So I'm just doing my little presentation out. It's a question and answer session. You brought me into this conversation. So I just want to be open and transparent.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you listen to us, we talk about what's outright and what's not outright. You remember the conversation we had earlier about our code enforcement? And I just told the other gentleman, when you come inside the city limits, you have to buy code enforcement, because we got rules and regulations that we must follow and guidelines. So this is not personal. That's why when I said earlier, I made the statement that goes to the chairman. It was not any city council member, because I foreseen this coming. I've been studying this a little bit. But back to my question again, you said you didn't make any political contribution. Okay, did you hold a public hearing? What day was the public hearing held?
When you say I held the public.
No. Did you attend any public hearing pertaining to Collier's Lane? That was.
I did.
What day?
There was a public hearing, and I came and I spoke over here when the old administration.
No. Let me back up. That's not what I'm saying. Before something goes out, the attorney can speak to you. You have a public hearing, a public forum, whereas the citizen gets to voice their support or their opposition. Usually we have that at 5:30.
Yes, sir.
Or 5 o'clock.
Right.
I'm just saying, do you recall that meeting?
What I'm saying to you is that we followed the process, and we followed exactly what we were told to. This was not just the Collier's Lane. We have another project that we finished on 350 East Jefferson. We were not asked for even to apply for a special use permit for that, because technically speaking, and you have your zoning people sitting here, this is an industrially zoned, it's already zoned industrial. You do not need a special use permit to do the project that we're doing on it. But because they asked us for the second project, being more stringent on us, that go ahead and go through the zoning board, we did that. But if we were supposed to attend a public meeting or a hearing, we have responded if we have been contacted. We've never single time been contacted by the city administration, except for when we were approved. We got a certified envelope from the city, which I have the envelope from the city of Bastrop, and they sent it to us. Otherwise, I don't remember if the city has any proof of denying us anything, saying no to us on anything, and saying, well, there's a moratorium in place now, and we are disapproving the previously approved project. So the thing that was approved, and I think it was being targeted. I personally think there was nothing else. That was some political people who were targeting us, because I don't see any other company working over here who are doing a project of 116 acres. We're the only ones working over here. And I hear you guys, and I'm responding humbly that you're saying that we're not targeting, but I feel that way. My company's feeling that way, that we're being questioned for something that was dealt with the previous administration, and we followed their rules. So the applicant cannot be held at fault. The guy who applied cannot be said that when you applied, we're gonna hold you at fault. And we were approved, that's what I'm saying. And I'm humbly presenting myself, and the reason I pointed you out, that we're ready to work with you, trying to see if there are any concerns that we can address them to all of you.
Councilman Lee Green?
Right now, you guys on Carlos Lane, right?
Yes, sir.
So at this moment, how many acres of that? You said one wood?
We own 116, we own everything that the IP government had. It's, Toda sold it to us. So we own many different parcels other than the 106 acres as well in the city of Bastrop.
So how many of the 116 right now have y'all utilized, meaning they put solar plants on?
It's a few acres. It's maybe like 3 or 4.
3 or 4?
Yeah.
So your goal is to have the whole 116?
No, it's not our goal. It's
Nope.
not our goal to have the whole place as a solar farm. We intend on putting a data farm, a modular data farm over there, which is going to do AI data processing, not Bitcoin processing. Bitcoin, which Bottom wants you to do on this first one.
Okay.
So, yeah.
So the 116 acres, how many of those acres would you plan on using for solar?
We would say about 60 to 70%.
60. In acres, what would you say?
About 50 to 60 acres.
60. Okay, so how long would, at the moment, how many employees you have?
About 21, 22.
Okay, so if you utilize the 50 acres that you would like to, and the solar plant is up and running, how many employees would you have at the moment?
When it's up and running and we have the data.
When it's completely done.
When it's completely finished.
How many workers would you have? How many workers would, out of that 22, how many would you keep?
Right, and we have the data center up and running. Because the solar, yes, the solar energy that we produce is gonna be 15 to 20 megawatts. So if we have 15 to 20 megawatts, we're gonna be using that energy somewhere, right? And for that data center, we're gonna have about at least 15 to 20 employees. At that time.
So that means the 22, some of them will be gone. Give us a.
Yeah.
Because I don't really know how solar work. I don't know if it's man have to put energy in it. But I was asking because I know there's a big picture of you're hiring people from City of Africa, which we appreciate it. But then my concern is once it's up and running, like completely, once all the man-made work is done, how many people are?
The permanent job creation would happen through the data center. That would happen through the data center.
Because somebody, I think, this is something, yeah, he might go. But he said do some research. So when we do all the research at the council, we was, I'm glad to hear this. So when we did the research, we was under the impression that, correct me if I'm wrong, because this your area expertise. We thought it would be 6 to 8 people that you'll keep out of the 22.
That's what I'm saying the data center, because you have networking people, you have, like for an example, right now you have internet fiber going through City of Bastrop, which is going through the meta site. So you will have employees that are employment is going to be there. They're going to be jobs associated with it.
I guess, Jay, go ahead. Jay Green?
This is the point, just when everything's up and running.
Yes, sir.
The final analysis.
Yes, sir.
What is the final head count for both of those combined? What will be the total number of jobs
that's created in the city of Bastrop
The
at that site?
The permanent jobs that would be created would be around 10 to 15. As I said, you have networking guys, you have.
Give or take.
Yeah, give or take 10 or 15.
So maybe 8 or 7.
No, but these jobs are 100+ K jobs. These are not other jobs. These are jobs like everyone's looking at the data center up and coming over there for the Meta site. It's the same way. It's an AI data center. So
Yes. Brainstorm, just thinking, so.
and these jobs do not include security guards. This does not include maintenance. Does not include cleanliness. Does not include the upkeep of the solar farm.
Yeah, well, this, Attorney Jones, because I think this council, just one of the biggest questions, because the reason I say it's one of the biggest questions. I think I had an associate by the name of Mr. Norman working with you guys.
Yes.
Let me say something. He came in the meeting, and I hate to speak on names, but he said that the city would be crazy to pass up $4 to $5 million in sales tax. Is Attorney Jones? Is that true? Would let's say we just say, hey, okay, you guys, so you got a lot of people there, and I know all of them. You know, so matter of fact, that's probably a couple of them. But and you know I'll be in Dawson Park, right? So Attorney Jones, is that true? They're like, that solar plant, this city right now will receive $4 to $5 million in sales tax.
That would be something that you have to sit down with all Mr. Smith, who does budgets, and with your auditing, your sales tax collection, to see what's going on with it. It depends on what activities bring in materials or brought here, and the construction and things like that reduce the bump in your sales tax.
So the reason I asked you, because if I'm not mistaken, I think you're familiar with the one that's maybe 20 miles up the road, Sterling. So sales tax wise, how much should Sterling get for that?
It just depends what you're looking at. I mean, I can't tell you a specific number. It's not a number that I look at, but you do receive a bump in supplies that are provided there, materials that are brought there. Supplies are taxed where they are brought to, not where they're. It's the point of where the project is, not where the actual business is done. So yeah, we do receive a bump of it. How much? What is it bump?
Yeah, that's, and the reason I asked you because
you do get a bump.
we don't know how much that bump is.
We get a bump.
And I just asked those questions because it was excellent. And I think some of us had the same, lots of had the same type of question.
I have a question, Mayor.
Council
Yes, I have a question. Solar farms are not my expertise. I would not ever say that it is. But how many solar farms have you constructed in a city limit?
Well, I'll tell you what, in Michigan, it's dead in the heart of Ann Arbor. It was paid by. It was.
So Michigan.
Michigan, and it's in the city, it is in the city, and paid by the city, by the way, as well. The city funded it, because they wanted to show green, that there was green, and green energy is there. Because all the solar farms do is they produce green energy, and free from the sun, they don't hurt anyone, and that's why I think they're existing already in the school rooftop, and they create energy. And with that energy, you have to see what you're using it for. So you use it for a data center or a high usage place. Like this is a lot of megawatts that you're talking about.
And I don't know if you're familiar, but right now, Monroe.
Right.
They constructed, they did a moratorium.
They did, yes.
You cannot, it has to be so many miles outside.
Yes, yes, you're absolutely correct. They did the moratorium. Our representatives who were here, they were the ones who wrote that moratorium. They are the ones who did it. And that was not the reason that moratorium came into place. I'm well aware of a gentleman from the previous city council copied the same moratorium and put it in. I understand that. But what I'm saying is that that moratorium, and when it came in, it was for other reasons. It was not because of the reason that you were thinking. And What I'm gonna explain it to you again, this is a brownfield site.
I understand all of it.
You cannot do anything on it. And so that's my humble request, and we were approved.
I understand, but we had, the attorneys to pull up all the paperwork because we wanted to do the right thing.
Sure.
When we researched the signature, there was no signature on the final approval. So nothing, we had nothing. We even contacted the code enforcement that was here at the time, and his statement was, he didn't sign it, he didn't have anything to do with it.
I think if we understand that is a conversation that the attorneys can do, and we can take this. I think for us to answer those questions and go down that road would not be appropriate.
It was appropriate, if we vote on it, it's very appropriate. Because that might not be my expertise, but I can't look at paperwork.
I understand that. Was there a meeting for zoning board held on the 27th?
It was, I was not here, but I know there was.
And was it approved in there?
The administrator
Yeah.
of the zoning board never signed
I have the minutes there, which I got from the
it.
city.
No
clerk.
signature.
Point of information.
Hold on, I got Councilman Logan.
So this is the zoning minutes. Yes, sir, go ahead.
Good evening again. I think we forgot what time today is. What I wanna know is, and then I wanna hear from the attorney, because we've listened for a while, and everybody's had a chance to ask a question. Let's get down to the heart of it, about what's going on with this. Is this about paperwork, or is this about injury to person or to the neighborhood, or what is the big contention? And I think if we can verbalize that and put that on the table, then people can understand what's going on. Again, right now, I'd like to hear from the attorney and see what she's here. This is your attorney representing you, right? I'd like to see what she has to add.
Hold up. You got anything else to say?
Yes.
Okay, well,
You got anything else to say? Because you got some more councilmen to say something.
well, that was my ask.
Yeah, but I didn't let her speak right now. Okay, you asked her when she's ready to speak.
Okay.
Sure. You got anything else you want to say?
That's it.
Councilman D. Green. Councilman J. Green.
Can I speak?
I'm talking about Robert Louis Ball. See, I never relinquished the full, so that's what I keep getting at. It was, Rich, that's supposed to be a question asked since you brought me into it. I was trying to finish, asking questions because you haven't provided this council with a layout or anything. I'm just saying, it's not nothing against you. It's just we haven't seen layout. And you made a statement that the zoning board approved your application. Am I not right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, well, Ms. Debbie Rogers was the zoning board president.
Yes.
She stood right there, and I'm gonna go find the meeting. I'm glad all this recorded. She stood right there and said, no, I didn't approve that. It was approved outright. By right. So I see what you said, that's not signed.
This is signed by the secretary of the city, Ms. Teresa Holmes, and it says over here, the special use permit for property located at 705 Collier Lanes was approved on a motion by Mr. Armstrong, seconded by Ms. Bardell and Mr. Culp, followed by a unanimous vote.
Okay, so I understand. Let me finish my line of questioning. So somebody is not, somebody's not telling the truth because Ms. Debbie Rogers, let me finish. You have to let me finish. I'm not going to interrupt you. You let me finish. So let's have some decorum. Let me finish and then you finish. She stated right there that she did not sign it. She said it was by right. And all of a sudden, these papers keep popping up that you have. It's nothing about you. We run a business. The city is a business, just like you run a business. There is nothing signed nowhere. We can't find anything. We can't get anything. And just for transparency, so that the public can realize that this is not a witch hunt, It's nothing personal. When we go to look for something, the computers have been wiped in code enforcement. Because we're looking for this particular property. We're looking to see, was it outright? Who voted on what? But when the code enforcement officer went to look at his computer, it's nothing. It's clean. So we can only go by our paperwork. And we're not showing what you are showing. So if you got a company, somebody just walk in and they say, here we go, showing you this and that. And you say, well, we don't see it. So I'm kind of confused because I want the public to see when the next council meeting, I promise you this. I'm gonna go back and I'm gonna find the meeting. Do y'all recall that council where Ms. Rogers stood right where he's at and said, no, we didn't approve it. It was approved outright. So I'm not saying that you're not telling the truth, but when we appoint a board, they take an oath to tell the truth, nothing but the truth, so help me God. Just like we take an oath. So something is not right. Nothing that you've done wrong. Just my investigation thing as chairman, I'm looking for paperwork, I can't find it. So it's not that we just trying to just ostracize you and your company. Are we coming up, or we don't think you'll be good neighbors? What I'm saying, it is a process that has to be followed. And you said something earlier. You said that you switched names. You know why the name was switched the first time? Because that's not, the company that you put out the first time was not even on Secretary of State's website. Has to do business in Louisiana. I'm telling you what I know. So that's why the name was changed. So you can do business in Louisiana. But guess what? When you change the name, that's a new thing. It's like one of liquor license. You can't bait and switch. When you sign something, that's what we look at. That's it. Now, when you change the name, it's something else. Just like you can have 5 or 6 different companies. Like you own about 40 of them, based on what I looked at. You own a lot of companies. Your company owns a lot of companies, but they're different entities owned by one person. It's like Donald Trump. He owned a bunch of stuff. Like Elon Musk, he owned a lot of stuff, but it's different entities. So when you change the name, I think the process starts over. I'm just saying, based on what you said. And I just think that we could get together and probably rectify the solution, but I don't like to be like we doing something wrong to somebody we're not. Because once you switch the name, it's different. And you say you switch it. Let me ask you another question. If you still own the same company.
Can I answer the first one?
Okay, let me finish because I'm owning something now. So if it's the same company and it's all under the same umbrella, why would you switch names if it didn't matter? If you own the same company, it's different entities, different companies. If it did not matter, why would you switch companies? Why would you switch names? Why wouldn't you just say James Green? Why would I go back and switch to JG Green? It's 2 different entities. So what I'm saying is open and transparent. I just like everybody to be open and transparent. And that's not like whitewashing it. We want, if you want to be let's start from scratch because I don't like where it's going because I feel like, it's like, okay, yeah, we did this. No, the name was changed because it was not recognized in state Louisiana because we, you know what? I don't know what boards you've been dealing with, but we kind of do a little research around here. You're not on the Louisiana website. I'm an attorney, no, I'm going to the administrator. Mr. Smith, am I right or not right?
During our initial review of that, the initial applicant was not registered with the state of Louisiana.
But the second one was, right?
It's currently registered, I'll tell you last time.
After they received the name.
Last quote was filed, and February 7th, 2025. So they're acting in this thing. Sunday, or Golden Day.
Was that around the time of the whole zoning ordeal?
Well, I can tell you this from the register. Sunbeam was registered in Louisiana. Looked like initially, February of 2020.
February?
2020.
Okay.
That's when they initially filed to be registered as a entity with the state of Louisiana. They've been in good standing since 2023.
2023. So when we did the name change, just to answer your question,
Yes, sir.
our company was already registered with the state of Louisiana. Mr. Rick was told you that.
So you're talking about the one that's registered now?
No, sir. Ask him. He's saying Sunbeam Solar was registered in 2023. Ask him, please.
I don't think some people, so what was the initial?
The initial, they've been all research.
I don't know the name.
Yeah, I don't have it right in front of me.
The initial name was Sunbeam Solar, which Mr. Ricky Smith right now read from the website, from the public website, and said in front of the whole audience that was registered in 2023. That name came from him and the date came from him.
No, I'm sorry.
No, you're not right.
Golden Beam.
Thank you.
Golden Beam, I'm sorry. Sunbeam is a member of that.
Right.
So now please,
Golden Beam.
so Golden Beam has a subsidiary that is Sunbeam. So both these entities have been registered since 2023. Please try to neutrally see this, not but with a bias. Listen to me, sir. In 2023, the request has gone. We're at 2025 right now. So there's no malice at that time from our side in any way or form that we're going to do a name change. That is a subsidiary of that same company. What I'm trying to say is if there's anything missing in the paperwork, that is due to our fault. We are ready to rectify that. As far as I asked you asked me so many questions that were we called even once to any meeting in front of the council, to the city, from the city, to any place, were we ever called? Was our company informed or called, given a notice, an email, anything, ever?
Well, one of your employees showed up to the city council meeting when we was in the blind.
I apologize for the past.
We were just trying to have an open dialogue, and you got up here and called us stupid and dumb.
I apologize, and that is what I'm saying, that I'm here humbly in front of the whole council meeting, addressing this, that please do not penalize our company just because of that fact or that for any of that reason. We are here to rectify anything. We are asking you to help us. We have invested a lot of money into this project. It's a legitimate project. It's a good project for a brownfield site, which no one wanted, which was offered for free by the IP mill to the city of Bastrop. They did not accept it with the liability that it carried out. So it was bought by Coda One, and we purchased it from Coda One. And it is when we say it is industrially zoned by right. So by right, for the first site, we did not have to go through any special use permit. We just went to the window and followed the instructions that we were given. And if there's anything that is missing or there's a discrepancy, we apologize for that, but don't penalize us and our company and their financials. Sir, I'll let you speak. Let me just finish my
Go ahead.
So what I'm saying is this, that all we want is to be treated fairly. That's all I'm saying. And I
see, because you just made a statement that it's by right, but you gotta know how it works. If it's by right, then the zoning board wouldn't have approved. You just said two.
That's what I'm saying, that why weren't we asked to go through this process for 350 East Jefferson Street? We were not. We only followed what we were told to do, and the applicant should not be held responsible for the errors of the old administration or the city administration. That's all we're asking. I don't know what was wiped from whose computer, Why there's no signatures on what document? I did not produce them.
Okay, one other question, one other point of information, then we can move on, or anybody got anything? So, if you would find in your heart, look through your records, and see if you can locate any investors in a 50-mile radius of this area, because what I'm trying to get at is, it's not fair, because if you look at, everybody take boards, if we take our ethic boards tests every year, even when you're the board, you gotta follow ethical practices, right? So I'm trying to make sure that nobody's getting a leg up on what's coming to Bastrop before the general public gets it. That's why I want to know the investors, because it's mighty strange that it's a few investors that's vested in there, and they got a vested interest. So you can't listen to people with vested interests and stuff. So you got a person with a vested interest that's gonna try to control the narrative, not you. You don't live in this area. I'm talking about the people. So we got to be mindful as to we represent our constituents, not a small group of people. Like Councilman Green was stating, he asked you about the job ratio to land ratio. He was asking because we want industry to come. Most municipalities, even in Sturgeon there, when I spoke with him, they certify industrial sites. Last time I spoke with him, I think it was 3 or 4 that they've been certified already. They certify industrial sites because Meta is coming. They want the Meta jobs. What you are doing, you supplying energy to Meta. We are, wherever you're going to supply it to. Solar panels, you supply them to somewhere. Well, that's what I was getting at in my other statement. It's brought me in, my district, sorry guys, but it brought me in. So you made your employee made a statement, well, it's private land, then we can do what we want to. That's not so. That's when I just told him we got a code enforcement deal. Because if you want to bring, if I have a house over here, we got rules and regulations, we got laws and zoning laws. You cannot do what you want to with your land. For therefore, what if somebody wants to bring a nightclub or a strip club or something? You can't do it because the zoning laws don't permit it in certain districts. So everybody has a right to their own land, but you got to follow rules and regulations.
The zoning code enforcement at that time, these 2 documents, not 1, 2 documents.
It's signed.
It's signed. Yeah, 2 signed documents. And there are 2 signed documents I composed.
Who signed that document?
It's Mr. Bubba or Mr. McDuffie.
Purpose said he didn't sign it.
Well, man, I'm not saying what he said or not, but what I'm saying to you is I have 2 signed documents which I would love to be challenged in front of anyone because I didn't sign them. So I have those 2 documents with me from the previous code enforcer. Now, I have presented these documents initially as well, so I have them. I have the original application with me as well.
You're making a contradiction. I'm trying to help you here because you know you're doing video. You got attorneys here. If he signed it, it's outright. I don't think you understand what you're saying because if he can sign it, it would not have went to the zoning board.
He signed it after it went to the zoning board. He signed it on March 19th. The zoning board is approving it on 27th of Jan. We have 1 letter on the 18th of March, 1 on the 19th of March.
Okay, yeah. I tried to help you, okay.
Well, just like kind of clarity with David and Ricky, my concern is Councilman Green stated that it might be some local investors. And then I do remember the situation where this particular situation, even the last code was stated that he didn't sign anything. So now to hear that the last administration or the last letter was given a donation, it's just puzzling to me. I can't speak for all the rest of the council, but it's kind of puzzling that we have local, because I didn't know, this new to me. We have maybe local investors, and maybe it was a donation made electorally to the prior mayor. Then here we are with paperwork that's not signed, and signed.
I appreciate all the concerns and
So
questions.
I do see from our perspective.
I do see that, and I'm saying that if there's anything that you require from us to rectify it, we are here to do it. But what I'm trying to say is, just help us move forward, however we can. So I know we're not being targeted. I know this is not the only company that anyone is targeting. I can see crystal clear, I'm sure the public can see through that too, that no one's targeting anyone over here. But I'm trying to reach out to the councilmen, all of the members. I'm trying to ask them to show me the path, how to move forward. As an applicant, whatever administration errors happen from the zoning enforcement perspective or the zoning ordinance or whichever reason, that should not be, the applicant should not be held accountable, and all his investment should not be held accountable.
I can't agree when you said that the applicant should be, but from my perspective, just to hear what we, encounter and doing. You get what we're saying? Like,
I don't remember the council calling our company even once and saying, hey,
well, even when you say you reach out, but then when you have, I guess, I don't know if they still affiliate with your company, hearing that you guys can sue the city, and at that point, they take us out of having any type of conversation. Now your conversation got to be held with Attorney Jones, and that's what you reached out to me, that's my family, but it was really my hands tied because if you said attorney.
Can I ask this council and including the mayor one question, if I may? Can I ask a question? Did my company or me individually offer anyone any money out of all you people?
I'm glad
because you.
Well, when you said, not us individually, so, Councilman Green stated the prior administration was giving some money. So of course not, neither one of us. I don't think
I agree with you, but what I'm asking is that being in such a pickle, I'm asking nobody.
But I'm sorry to feel like that. The city is not targeting, I'm sorry to feel that way. But the city's not targeting you or your company, the information I saw since I've been in, the whole folder file has no signature by our last code enforcement. Everything is blank. The computers are blank. So I don't see how you got a copy that we don't have one. That's all we said. And Mr. Bowman said he did not say it. So that's our point. And now you just state your name. I'm sorry about that, but I'm holding you back. If you state your name and your address.
Good evening, my name is Christina Moore. I'm an attorney with Hammond & Seals. We're located in Monroe, Louisiana, 1500 North 19th Street, Suite 301. I don't want to hold us, the time has already been extremely long, and I understand you guys have questions about the matter. I would ask that we would move forward on the matter tonight, but based on everything that has been said, it doesn't look like that is going to happen, but if possible, we can have a special session as soon as possible moving forward. Whatever the information that the board needs from us regarding investors or other documentation, approval, everything that has been said tonight, we're just asking for a special session to further address that. Thank you.
What was your name again? Sorry.
Christina Moore.
Ms. Moore, you said you're gonna provide local investors?
I will get with him and provide whatever information he has to the board. We're just asking, considering the delay in the project, that we have a special session as soon as possible to move this matter forward. I'll get with him and get all the information to you that he has.
I want to ask one thing you could provide to us. Did you provide us the most recent decision by the Louisiana Public Service Commission regarding their application for this facility?
I won't give a date on that. I don't know that off the top of my head.
Okay, I'm just asking, there should be a report,
Okay.
transcripts of the proceedings.
Okay.
I just asked if there has been approved, can you just get a copy of the approval?
Can you repeat your last name, Sarah?
I'll spell it both for you. CHRISTINA, last name Moore, MOORE. Yes, sir.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
This agenda item that we have to vote on tonight, and table this.
There's no item, it's on simply, I guess to bring forward and kind of bring ahead what happened over the last month and kind of actually sort of the public thing to get out what person for the issues regularly. Mr. Collins wants to speak to the council.
I just wanted to ask one thing. I appreciate that, Mr. James, where you mentioned Robert Rules of Order, and I just want to make sure I'm in order because as he said, I've seen some things tonight that have not been so. And I just wanna, since I asked for that special session if possible, do we need a motion to move forward to make sure that happens in a timely manner before the next meeting?
That's what I'm trying
Yeah, you don't need a motion.
Okay.
It would be. Point of information before they leave. Attorney, Mr. Chairman, Mr. Jones, you care to weigh in? I guess to what his attorney, what the attorney had to say, you have anything? Let's go.
Correct. The biggest issue that I can see for the council, you want to know just kind of the position statement of where everything is. In order for it to be a special use permit, it had to be a public hearing. There is nothing in the record determining or establishing a public hearing actually occurred for a special use permit. So the reality is that we have an application that on its face was put in before the moratorium order. It does not have a action upon it. So you have a pending application prior to the moratorium. So ultimately now underneath the new procedures, that application will come before the council. So that's ultimately in a special meeting, that's what will be brought before the council is the action in to approve or disapprove the special use permit.
May I speak? I don't want to speak out of turn. Regarding that special meeting, I was just inquiring about a possible date for that, when that could possibly happen.
Mr. Jones, have to
I believe he does, yes, sir. Okay. Thank you.
One last thing, we can go over the special use permit and do the special session, but you please ask the city attorney if we could proceed, if it's okay to proceed with the occupational license, if that's okay, because our funding is stuck because of that reason.
Mr. Jones?
And that's something that I'll have further discussions with his attorney's office with regards to how it wants to proceed and what the city position is regarding that. But that is something we're currently on. There's a lot of moving parts going on right now.
Thank you for your time, that's all.
Thank you. Next, now we have a city official.
Excuse me, could I get some clarification there, my two? Okay, that's all I need. All right, thank you. Thank
I didn't know that, that's why I was thinking, I didn't know it was going in deep. I just wanted to make 1 minute comment. He called the previous council, the previous administration. I mean, that's up to you.
Number 9, report of city officials. A, Bastrop City Police Department. Chief Reed?
I don't know that.
Man, we can talk 2 hours. Can't make a minute.
Mayor, I don't have anything to do at this time. All the liquor licenses were done last night.
I have one question. Chief, I have one question. Have we moved on hiring anybody else? I know you had some training, some went to the academy.
Right, we had one start the academy, actually Monday.
Okay.
We had a couple of applications we've received since then. They'll have to go through the hiring process. It'll probably be early spring before we can do anything.
And how many officers are we short now?
Oh, we're still short the original amount. We need 6 officers.
6 officers. Well, we had lost somebody else within the last month.
No.
Okay, and so we're still actively trying to hire.
Yes, ma'am. We do have some more applications.
Anybody else have any questions? Thank you, Chief. Fire Department, Chief Williams.
Good evening, Mayor, City Council members. I'd just like to announce and say thank you to everybody in the community and the business owners that donated to our bicycle drive. We was able to bless 142 children with a brand new bike for Christmas. So I'd like to acknowledge everybody that donated that and thank everybody that came together for that great cause. Other than that, I don't have any more announcements. Wish everybody a good
Thank you, Chief. No.
Happy New Year to everybody.
Happy New Year.
We have environmental court coming up on the 28th of this month. I was out seeing one day this week, so I'm kind of behind. So present y'all what I got, because I still got to go out and, check a few houses before the environmental court, but I don't really have no updates. That's all right.
One question. I know we talked about the Lowry properties, that we were gonna kind of put them all in one bucket and send one.
Yes.
I think that was the plan. I know we kind of talked about not renewing his occupational license. And I guess attorney has to answer that.
If you would actually look on the agenda tonight, we have an ordinance for introduction that would begin the process.
Okay, so we had,
Yeah.
so if he comes tomorrow, he can get it.
Yes, he can get his occupational license, correct. I believe he's probably ready to obtain that this most recent year.
Okay.
But the ordinance that's being introduced, I was just introduction, so they'll vote on, we'll sure up some of the holes in there, so that people who violate our beautification.
What about suspending the occupational license?
The same thing.
Same thing.
Same process.
Okay. That's it.
That's all. We're gonna move on to the city clerk.
No, I have a question. What about our, like, applying for our grants? Are we up to date on everything? Cause I know you didn't have a lot of information in the beginning, and I'm just hoping that we don't miss a deadline.
T-Mobile $50,000.
Really good.
Upgrading the municipal center, pretty much everything. I saw it on my radar, West Monroe, I did, we actually going after $50,000.
Okay, that's good.
Devin.
You got it,
Other than just a synopsis of what we've been able to do last month, we're able to get the ordinance regarding alcohol for introduction, like the ordinance regarding occupational licenses. We've moved forward with as you can tell, a lot was going on with property regarding the solar farm. Other than that, we're just moving forward with just some items, kind of cleaning up and getting things that we had talked about doing going through the other. And a lot of things. So that's where we're at, is it's just enacting, getting things in place, the structures in place, so that we can carry out the plans we've discussed.
Yeah, policy and budget, Mr. Smith.
All right. Chairman, members, budget season, budget development process was going to start. Anticipated beginning this February meeting of every year is the budget development process. The man directed, need to come up with a plan to work hand in hand with the council in the actual budget development process. Instead of just doing it in administrative level, we'll collect. And we'll start this process every February of each year. At the February meeting, we will do the mid-year budget adjustment, like we did first quarter, mid-year. At that meeting, the mayor will present his outline of the budget message for each proposed budget, kind of outlining the main points, areas of the budget. This out is hard. Then at that meeting, we'll discuss the calendar. The budget is due no more than no later than 15 days prior to the beginning of the fiscal year, July 1st. So the budget deadline is June 15th. The mayor wants to directly have an aggressive plan in regards to budget development and actual proposal. The mayor wants to have a proposed budget to you all to start reviewing and considering after we do development by April 24th, and publish it to the public by April 27th. And they have a public hearing on May 14th in the regular meeting and adoption of the regular meeting. So that'll be a full, little more than 30 days prior to the deadline. So it gives some leeway just in case something pops up that council or the mayor wants to amend or adjust, and then we'll adjust the schedule accordingly. Because we say have 30 days to make it. So we have to push off the public hearing and actual adoption. We can do it in that part of May, especially or the beginning of June meeting, which would be ethical. But the mayor wants to have budgets for each fiscal year done by the May meeting of every year, so that we can focus on closing out prior fiscal year. We anticipate the issue in June. We focus on buttoning up this fiscal year to make amendments and adjustments. And that's how we'll actually have a good idea of what the fund balance is looking like. So with that being said, the mayor is going to ask that the council schedule a special meeting in February that we will start. This phase started with the smaller budgets, sewer use, and the sales tax. So call a special meeting for February. We'll begin reviewing the sewer use budget. And part of that probably going to entail having an executive session. Because one of the things that we're going to start doing is the mayor director, clerk and I, reconciling the bank statements that actually will start producing those documents to the council for review. So that process is going to take place periodically, but it's always going to begin during the budget development process. Because we have to roll the budget, look at the fund balance, projected fund balance. So we should, for the most part, have to kind of reconcile to where we can still have a snapshot to be able to move forward with the development, but we definitely have it done prior to the adoption. So we'll start with sewer use and call a special meeting in February. The regular meeting in March, we'll finish up sewer use if need be and begin the sales tax at the March regular meeting. We also be able to ask that council call a special finance meeting in March to finish up the sales tax if need be, or begin the general fund budget review. And then in the meeting, regular finance meeting in April, continue with the general fund. Probably we need one additional special meeting, finance committee in April. To be able to adhere those timelines. So with the budget, we'll go each budget line by line and discuss it and review it. We have this time around, we have a few more what I call support documents. Again, we start with 5-year actions and I kind of add the media budget into it to kind of annualize that, and we'll walk through that, and I'll show you where we'll do a rolling 5 year. And we'll look at the bank statements, reconcile those, because again, that's going to be something that we hopefully adopt into the revenue finance to present those bank statements and we go through them. And at that point, hopefully by the beginning of fiscal year, we'll be up to date on, and it won't be but 30 days. And then we also produce with each budget capital outlay, actual capital outlay budget. There will be a support document so you can, anytime you want to go look at projects that we have that are outstanding and ongoing, just go to capital outlay, whether it's general fund, sewer, or street sales tax. It'll be a quick reference. We also going to do what I'm gonna call a one-time expenditure of revenue budget. It's going to identify all the one-time money in each budget, and we'll have an idea of what one-time money that we have, and the goal is to try to keep having to tie one-time money to the great economic expense. So we're gonna have a budget that outlines it. If I had time to do it this time around, you would have had a budget that would have $1.6 million of one-time money, but it would be attached to a little bit more than $1 million of one-time expenditure. And then I would have to show what the rest of that 6 would have been, that we would have to, target for the next year to try to eliminate so we have a balanced budget. That's the goal. We always want to put for a balanced budget. And in order to do that, we got to kind of do a modified zero-based budget where we see what the numbers were last year. And projecting we're going to bring in revenue and just priority. We're going to have this priority for this fund first. And then we'll get to the end. We got X amount of dollars left. We got to figure out what's going to be funded and what's not.
That's one more question.
And that was the last thing.
Okay, Mr. Smith, when you talking about what did you say, the things you were gonna have, the checks and balances for us to look at, the bank statements, we couldn't take that for nothing, bank statements. Are you talking about during finance meeting?
Yes. That's probably going to be an executive session element to it, because,
Have other people.
right, then
Okay.
it's council, they're going to be the bank
This one-
nothing redacted, nothing given to you. Have those reports and go line by line, and review it. That's going to be a process that we're going to implement it to the rest of to the extent you can, because I know going through the bills can take a little time. Not saying you cut that short. That's something that, if you can do it, I would like to do it. If we may do it on a quarterly basis, the council wants to. That's another element of transparency. To make sure that, do and give that information to the council. Because it's something that you need access to. That's your function. Power first.
I was just gonna ask you, during the budget process, how do you, it's twofold actually. How do you feel about each councilman coming up with some type of idea they like to see in their district? And I know that funding might be limited, and we together as a council to see which ones is a better use or more vital for the city of Gratiot.
I think that's, and I don't want to speak for the mayor, but the director he gave me to come up with this is to solicit that very thing.
Okay.
Because he's going to submit his priorities within the budget message, and we're going to develop it together. Because if that wasn't contemplated, we wouldn't do it. We just give it to you and give you 2 weeks and look at it and have a public hearing and vote.
And actually, I think it'd be like, vital, special. I know we all can be good, but at least talk some type of transparency, because, if one of our districts can do something that benefits the whole district, so we ain't put the city of Gratiot. So I know all of us want something done in our district, but
And might not be likely that y'all can get some done. But if it's a use, if it's a, one of those type of idea that you send out and everybody can utilize it, and it's a win for the city of Gratiot, I think.
And then
Because I can say this, you know, I can say, for example, I just told out the swimming pool, you know. Unfortunately, that's an issue due to houses. Just throw it out there.
And, just quickly add to that, and that's what the, you know, the mayor is vision is, working with council hand in hand like this. And again, the outline that the mayor, pointed out is just suggestions. We can have, y'all can have multiple, special needs in addition to the one that he's asking that we have. So, you know, there may be, we make Mr. Green may have us spend 2 hours on his problem, you know, get to something else. And it may facilitate calling another meeting. I'm just No. The mayor clearly said that he just wants to have a schedule set up that y'all decide on what day to meet, time to meet, and how frequently.
Can you present to us at the next meeting that itinerary that you want to have, so we start putting dates down?
Yeah, yes, sir. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So all the different things that you said tonight, so we can start putting dates.
Yeah, and that's what that's why I anticipate doing in February. You know,
That's the thing that we need to get done.
because the first thing we have to call a special meeting
Right.
in February. So I have all that, and if the council wants to sit and map it out until May, I mean, that's your part. And if you want to have more than what I recommend on there, things probably sufficient. People have 5-hour meetings. So that's totally up to you. We work together on this and build the process, and that way, when we submit it to you, the 24th of April, I mean, you're not really gonna have a lot to look at unless you come up with something, how you're doing your re-review that you want to change. And of course, you call a meeting between that, so we still have time to host it, the notice, which has to be 10 days.
Man.
Councilman.
When we have our finance meeting on our meeting in February, I know we usually have it 5:30. Can we come in maybe at 5 o'clock and start on that time?
Yeah, well, actually, the meetings, on the agenda say finance starts at 5.
That's what I thought.
So,
Yeah.
right, so you just reminded the council of what's already, so yes, sir, we can actually.
You present those dates.
Oh, I had it that we do the media, and we can, y'all can actually, if everybody's there, I can move the calendar.
That's what,
that.
So we have to have all these regular meetings, so.
Yeah.
I know we're gonna have other meetings throughout the week, that month, but at least we have some dates down.
If you, I do a blank calendar, if you want to.
That's what a blank calendar is.
We can put the dates in.
Mr. Smith?
Yes, sir.
I appreciate that. We're gonna move on to number 10, unfinished business.
I just have one thing. East Side School, I know it's a headache. I think I asked, what could we do maybe to tarp that roof so it just doesn't look so bad? I just see all the comments on Facebook. I see it when I ride by. So can we tarp the top and put it to the tax roll?
Councilman, tapping up. I'm working on, I got some money to tear the whole school down. And I'm working with, when I spoke with Mr. Jones on that. So we're still in the process. He said he just do it.
Okay.
I haven't seen, we haven't seen how we're gonna go back,
Yeah.
we're gonna let him do it, but he wanna tear down the whole school.
That's even better. All right. Keep my fingers crossed.
Number 11, new business, action on proposal, new resolution. Pay appoint members to the Florida Insurance. City Council member.
Debbie Wood. The Quality Assurance Board.
I am thankful for Ricky nowadays. It's good to get breaks now.
That's it.
So what you have is your quality assurance panel. It's established by contract with the franchise for the ambulance agreement we have currently in place. The council is to pick one member of the council, and then there's to be a nurse member to be selected in order for that representation to go on that membership. The other membership is comprised by other people who are named by title or the designee.
And it's like the, fire chief, right?
Correct. There's fire chief, I believe there's police chief, there's the sheriff, there is, there's another individual, there's several individuals from there. I have to look at the contract specifically on that membership. But these members have to be selected by the council.
Okay. Oh, well, I have a couple of names.
So it's just generally, you can go item by item, start with your council member, you take up the nurse member, whichever one you want to go first.
Okay, but for the council member, I want to recommend Mr. Darren Green, if you will accept.
Hold on, he's not here.
That perfect
Look
time.
at the
Okay.
Yeah, I think you got a motion.
So we got a motion? Yeah. Got a motion? Got a second?
A second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
Well, I know when he comes back.
When he come back, you can run, but you can't hide.
And for the nurse member, I want to recommend Miss Alice Newsom Robinson. Ms. Robinson served at North General Hospital probably about 40 years. Really knowledgeable nurse. She's still quick on her feet, has a good mind, and a heart for the community. So Ms. Alice Newsom Robinson is my pick.
That's a motion. Okay, a second? Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. B, resolution 26-2122. Adopt a civil service employee policy revision.
We put in your packet some revisions to the policy manual. And today I passed out a section that, for whatever reason, got omitted from the packet that went out for you to review. And if you look at it, it's going to add a section 1, subsection B, which is going to be in between pages 2 and 3 inserted. Members, I reviewing and talking to a couple of council members. The first paragraph, again, these first paragraphs are just kind of like fluff I was putting in. The first paragraph, I'm gonna request that the council omit that in adoption. I don't think it's necessary after discussion with several council members. And the rest is pretty much self-explanatory, kind of, didn't recreate the wheel, looked at a couple of municipalities, dress code, and put that in for adoption. In regards to that, if members got any questions?
Yes, this, point of information. This is just an introduction, right? We're not gonna take any action tonight.
This is not, you will have to take action like you want to let you take it. This is not a, ordinance. This is our resolution.
Resolution.
So it's the will of the council.
I was thinking this is gonna be a discussion item.
Discussion / action. I mean, you don't have to take, you don't have to take action on anything.
Yeah, okay.
So if you just want to discuss it today, table it for another time, that's the first.
Maybe one last thing we have to do, I'll make a motion that we accept the city of Bastrop non-civil service employees personnel policy with the necessary corrections.
Any discussion?
Yeah, I'd like to know what just happened.
I made a motion to accept this policy. Yeah, I'll do it.
Right, it's been properly moved and second, so, they may ask for additional discussion before we vote, so.
Yeah, the question I asked is, had everybody read it? And up to date on everything they said, that's all.
I don't know if y'all ready.
I do.
I skimmed through it.
Look like it's a standard.
Standard,
Yeah, it's only a few modifications.
right, it's just like a standard workplace
We
policy.
have to have something written for the employee to refer back to.
Correct.
If we don't have anything written, then, you know, we don't do anything we want to do.
And again, this was written, we just updated it.
That's my next question. So you saying we already had something in place?
Yeah, if you look at it, I added page numbers and line numbers.
Right.
And at the bottom, if you look at the footer, I said words with struck through or deletion, and words in boldface type underscore or addition. So that's why when you look at what I passed up, all of it bold and underscore, that's an addition. And then there's a couple other areas, and like the last page, next page, still had former mayor name on it. So you see the strike through and then the bold, it just updates that. The dress code is the real major addition.
Yes, every new employee is given a copy of the policy.
I'm not sure, but when this is adopted, everybody will get a copy of the revised as of today.
And signed.
Oh, it's the page over there, they have to.
Yes.
Very back, they have to sign, each department head is going to print this out, get a copy, and sign it on the personal file.
The new policy, new revision. Is there any way that, since it's new, maybe you already got something in place, any way that once the employees read over something, and they look at it, they sign it, and they don't really agree with it, is there any way they can go anonymous and write something anonymous like they don't kind of agree with, so just in case that they approach the council member and they want to change something,
I mean, I'm assuming they should have a open relationship with the department head, and they can communicate with, the department head, hey, man, just because I didn't even read it, I know it's not something new, but I didn't know this was in it. And I don't know.
It could be 20 years, and they still don't know.
Right, and then they finally get it for the first time, and then they have some issues. It'll go up the chain when it gets to the mayor, of course.
and I think that's a legitimate question that was asked by the council. Just read it, but when we look at, what they're trying to ask for the introduction, when you say discussion, you got the other slash, so we just want to make sure everybody has read it in depth, or sometimes when it comes back, it's gonna be an introduction, you look at, skim over, and you think you got 30 days to actually read it, so we want to make sure each council member is actually read it. I looked over, it sounds good to me, so any objections later on from employees, they got a mechanism for going about anonymous.
And, I don't know if there's a procedure for anonymous, suggestions, maybe that's something, we can there.
I'm not saying anything about this, man, but if a person got a supervisor and they wanna say something, but they kind of afraid to say hesitant because they don't want to, no problems. I'm just saying is that anyway, not saying the council gonna come back and make another revision. I'm just saying so that we could, it's beneficial to the mayor and the council to see the engaged employees, to see just how they feel about new policies and procedures being in place.
This administration will never put an employee in a bad situation. This administration is here to improve what we see that is wrong with stuff and change it. Also, I think the council will be on the same page. People coming to work dressing neatly and not having words all over their shirts that you face the community and they got some of their shirts say I'm a bad person or something like that. So that really this right here addressing stuff we need to address.
So we voted. Yes, sir.
Yeah, This is still a discussion.
I will.
Until somebody go around the room and say previous question like this, like.
I was going.
What, hey, Mr. B. Green, welcome to the quality assurance. You got other goals.
Thank you.
I understand I'm the youngest on the board, but seniority means something, right? I already told Ms. Adams about it.
Make a statement.
Council
Good, I'm sorry.
Now, we already have something in place. And again, I'm.
Yeah, this policy, man, if you look at
Make that clear.
look at the front page, that, I don't know if it was adopted for the first time.
That's not the point. I just making sure.
Yeah.
When you do this revision, you may want to say that the department heads will print it out and give it to each employee. Now, we're not gonna leave that printed up to the department heads now. That will come from the city, won't it?
Yeah.
Okay, I understand that, but I'm saying you won't, we will have a central location printing out all of the, manuals.
It's here in the city, we'll print it out, the main office will print it out, and we will give it, I will have a head for me.
Right.
And they will give it to the.
Right.
Make sure everybody sign off.
Okay.
We'll call them all over to the office.
Right, so on the revision part, now, you have a place for the employees to sign and the supervisor to sign, right?
Yes.
On the form.
Yes.
Okay, what happens when that supervisor gets to that employee and they talk about it and they give her to sign it? And the employee doesn't want to sign it for whatever reason. Is that gonna be a condition of employment that they have to sign it, Mr. Jennings? And if they don't sign it, what happens?
So this is the condition, so as the council, your legislative body sets the policies for each branch. And this is a condition of employment. This is the policy and procedure book. Your signature is not saying that you agree with it, your signature is saying that you have read it and acknowledged it. Your signature is not saying that you are agreeing to it. It just says that you understand, you acknowledge that these are the policies and the discipline for not following these policies, which have been promulgated by the city of Bastrop, the governing authority, are in place. It's similar to the military. I'm sure there are lots of things you did not agree with, but you said, yes, I've seen it and I have to follow it. I understand it as my employment, I have to follow it. Yeah, we don't have employment agreements with anybody, that all employees are at-will employees. This is not, a policy book does not create an employment agreement. And so in the instance of, are they agreeing to it, they have to follow all rules and regulations of employment, but it doesn't create an employment.
Yeah, and that's already understood. Again, you know, there might be, there's gonna always be 1, 2, or 3 that you have to have a good basic understanding. And just like you just said, this is not a condition about employment, because that's already standing. The condition of employment is already standing.
It's just updated policy and procedure. And each individual who would have agreements or anything with this would fall within HR. They would contact HR through the operating structure to say, hey, I have an issue with that. And then HR, as part of their function, would bring those things to up the chain.
And they will only know to do that if they get a copy of the file. No, I'm saying they will only know to do that if they got a copy of the file. So.
All right.
Thank you, appreciate you.
Should I get a vote? Y'all already vote?
All in favor?
All in favor? Any opposed?
Carries.
We're gonna move on to C. Approve CA revision, is Mary Hawkins, 1305 Big Street, District P, $4,500.
So this was the CEA, this is the one that we talked about that previously occurred during the previous administration, when Mr. Charles Bradford was occupying District P's seat. We discussed last meeting with Ms. Hawkins and with the property person about the payment. The revision to that CEA reason why it's coming before you is because the revision would be that payment would go directly to Ms. Hawkins, not to the property person, which is legal and sufficient because we have the property representative who authorized the work, who stated they're authorized to do that, has also signed the agreement, so we would have all three parties on that. And that's the revision that's able to encapsulate that and resolve the issue with regards to that Meek Street address.
I make that.
I second.
Anyway.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carried. I read down to 12, planning and zoning business.
None there for that. Move there. None in discussion, we did item 14.
Okay. Agenda modification?
And in the modified agenda, I didn't put my name beside it, that's a approved settlement claim by Ms. Lenore regarding sewer backup in the residence. We had a residence that had a sewer backup. Initially, a claim was made with the city, which was transferred over to the insurance company. The basis of those claims did the city have notice of did the city have notice of the activity for which? We have notice of the activity that occurred. At the time that it was made, the insurance, it was articulated that we did not have notice of it. We did have notice of it. Then the damage that occurred because of some issue as a result of the sewer system backing up is not caused us to be liable. It was later kind of determined through course and further documentation that provided that there appears to be some reference, some notice there. So what ended up happening is we talked with this individual and the amount for which that was requested was significantly reduced than what it actually costs to repair the stuff. The amount that was requested was, I believe, in the amount of $3,000 as reimbursement, but the total cost of what the actual scale was far greater than that. This individual is just requesting the $3,000. That's below the threshold deductible for our insurance policy. So what I'm asking you for is to vote to approve that we can settle that claim with Ms. Lenore's property and resolve that issue. That's a prior administration issue.
Any second?
I second.
Discussion?
Yes, I have a question. Which Lenore is that?
I believe that's Ms. Evelyn.
Yeah, we should.
Evelyn?
Yes.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carried.
And then we have item 15 is introduction of ordinances.
Sorry.
He wanted to say something, Ms. Franklin wanted to say something about that site. How do I go down? How do we go down?
Which site?
Brown, they call them Brownfield?
We can circle back after the introduction.
After we do that?
Yeah, the introduction of ordinances, so they're introduced by title, there's no action required. So as to item 15A, ordinance 264284, which is provided in your packet, an ordinance to amend and reenact the alcohol license procedure and fees in sections 4-4, 4-10, 4-13. I would just ask you to look over those. We'll have an adoption on those later should be in February's meeting. The fees were increased in the alcohol one to the statutory maximum on each from where they were previously. I can provide at the adoption meeting where other jurisdictions exist and possibly some question and answer about that. The other change in there is that you'll notice whenever you review that there is the authority of the mayor to traditionally approve renewals and special permit. One, special permits are always time sensitive. Renewals, we previously approved them. And then those final approvals will come before the board if they have a provisional section for the So if you'll just review that and then next meeting we can discuss those and go with it. The second ordinance to be read by title for introduction is ordinance 264285, an ordinance to amend the occupational license certification procedures in section 13.9. This is what we discussed earlier. If you'll review that for the adoption, proceed the adoption meeting, which would be the next regularly scheduled meeting in February. This was the one that will allow us to achieve the effect where we can revoke and terminate and reject a occupational license for an individual who, or any business that is out of compliance with what is our public health or beautification ordinance. And there's procedures. They're just for introduction, so review them, look over them, and then we can discuss further in debate when we come to adoption if there's any amendments that need to be done. That would bring us to.
Let me suspend our rule of order to let Mr. Bradford speak. I'll ask the board to.
Yeah, I think what you can do is ask if you could return to an item previously addressed. So if there's a motion to reconsider the public comments section, then you can proceed that way. So is there a motion to, anybody make a motion to return to the public comments section?
I make a motion to return to the public comment section.
That motion is a procedural motion, it doesn't require a second, so it would be all in favor. At this time, you would return to the public comment section because it's an answer, not making a motion.
My name is Charles Bradford, 1320 South Washington Street, Bastrop, Louisiana. I come back before the council on the public comment, because like I said, I didn't know all the details. We're speaking about the Collins Street solar panel. Mr. Green, as we all heard, and I want to be long, the gentleman spoke and said, well, the previous council member said this and they said that. Well, I was the previous council, I got kind of defend. I said, well, we asked, if I remember, help me out, Mr. Green, all we asked was that we tabled it and asked that they get together and have a public meeting before we go in and vote. That has not been done. A year has been by. Okay, I don't have anything to solar panels, but I think the people here in the community should have, people be heard, that voice should be heard. One other thing that I'm gonna leave alone. He made a statement. The state representative of that district, that you're covering that, is Mr. Evans, right? Your state representative is Mr. Evans over that deal site. And Mr. Fred Jones, who also was the state representative at the time, they went before, they did what you call phase 2. They published it in the paper. That is a blue ribbon site. We need to dialogue, sit down, have the meetings. We can hear them out, not like this one, here's the community, and then present something different. We need to take a approach to clear, I think, Mr. Green spoke of the investigation they have done, him and Mr. Smith. Let's see what that site is worth. If we get away our economic development community, all we have, like you said itself, that's the biggest acres inside our city limits. Why not hotels? Why not bank? Why not retail businesses? If it can be used for that. If it's a blue ribbon site, and I did my homework, it can be used for that. They get a phase 2. And again, I want to thank you all for letting me come up with an idea like that. But at least let them have the time out for me. And then let's see what the people have to say. Thank you again.
Thank you, sir. All right.
We're adjourned.
Motion going.
Second.
Go ahead, go.